Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Barb Tengesdal with First Five Fox Valley, the executive director, and on behalf of our board, I graciously welcome you to be able to participate in this from the Help Me Grow staff and Help Me Grow Fox Valley partners. We welcome you to hear about the kind of data and the outcomes we've been able to produce in the past couple of years. We did this back in 2022, and so it's been a couple of years, and we're excited to share again where First Five is aligning our mission and vision and action and a new strategic plan as we move forward. We are doing this in a Zoom mode, and Kelsey is taping this or recording this, so we'll make sure we can put it online for those who aren't able to be a part of this presentation now. It'll be on our website. I'd like to start just by grounding us in what is the mission of First Five Fox Valley. Our mission is to cultivate communities that empower and support families to build a solid foundation for children in their first 5 years. First Five is an organization that really is utilizing a collective impact model for our work and building strategic partnerships so that we cultivate these communities to help families who have children ages 0 to 5 and a little bit beyond. So oftentimes I get asked, what is First Five Fox Valley? Are you a network? Are you an alliance, a collaborative, a coalition, a collective? It gets crazy, right? Like it becomes difficult to know who's a part of First Five and what it is we do. So my analogy I'm sharing around what it is as the work that we do around collective impact is, First Five is like throwing a potluck supper. We're the ones that will send out an invitation, will make sure we have plenty of napkins and silverware, and maybe even create a theme around it and send out invites. And together, when everybody brings their dish, it feeds a multitude. It's a beautiful mosaic of food and social connection, and the kind of chatting and yapping that happens at a potluck is just relational. And so what First Five does, I kind of like to say, is we're the ones that are hosting the table. We're the ones that are setting out and allowing the invitations to come to whoever wants to bring a dish to feed a multitude, that collectively we work together and create something beautiful in the way that we collectively do that together. So I kind of like to use this analogy that we create space for creation, discussion, advocacy, project work, new ideas. Sometimes it's just to be able to gather together with old friends or to call into action. So First Five sees ourselves as the one that is able to bring together groups, partners to do work that does meet our mission, vision, and alliance. And how this alliance or how our collective impact began was back, and you'll see this in a few minutes, we realized there was a problem that needed to be solved. We know that children under the age of 3, under the age of 5, really have, there's so much impact that can happen around development. And so as a community, we began to understand that there really was an uncoordinated early childhood system of programs, and they were functioning in silos. There was some duplication. We didn't know who was doing developmental screenings, who was referring families to birth to 3. We realized too, there was really a need for a universal developmental screening system that could provide data and inform our decision-making as a community where we put our resources. So we began as early childhood programs, meeting as a coalition, not functioning in a really coordinated or collaborative way, but we networked, we came together, and it was early childhood partners. And we realized that families didn't know how to access the services, that there was time for a backbone organization to be developed, developing common vision and goals, and really how do we begin to create a universal screening system, developmental screening system? So for First 5 Fox Valley, we look at how did we get here, and we give thanks for those very early years when we started as a home visiting consortium. There was a family resource center that had been developed and was working and really supporting families. But then under certain circumstances, the building's not even in that location anymore. It wasn't functioning anymore. So we've been without one for a while. We look at our growing years where the Early Childhood Coalition launched the Community Early Learning Center. And with a Race to the Top grant, we had a chat plunge. Then we move into our strategic years, like in 2018, 2020, with support from community philanthropy organizations, we were able to have a visioning summit, create the State of the Child, the first State of the Child report. We launched First 5 as a backbone organization under the fiscal support of Child Care Resource Referral. And then we call it the collective impact years, where from 2020 till now, we've begun Help Me Grow Fox Valley. The Welcome Baby project began, developmental screening project began, ASQ Enterprise System was started with moving over the collective partners working together. We developed a website, hired an executive director, and gained nonprofit status. And now we look at the expansion years. Help Me Grow, the work that Help Me Grow Fox Valley has done, has launched Help Me Grow Wisconsin. There's a regional childcare alliance. We have membership growth, we have community navigators, and we have data to really tell a story, and we have parent leadership that is motivating to be a resource for all families in the future to come together and to learn how to be the advocate they want to be for their families. And we're launching a family resource center. Who are the partners within First 5 Fox Valley's stakeholders, and who comes to our tables? It's obviously young children, their parents, families, and caregivers, mostly the families who are bringing their children or needing to access support for their children. Early childhood service partners and agencies, collaborators, both public and private. It could be some foster care. It could be basic needs supports for families, early intervention, public health. Community and cultural organizations are part of our stakeholders. The Building for Kids, we were a part of Imagine Fox Cities. Multicultural Coalition, People of Progression has a navigator, Help Me Grow navigator. We've been really working with municipalities, the cities, counties, our state, school districts, healthcare, mental health, physical health, the community health action teams, Department of Health Services. We also have been increasing our work with philanthropy and donors to really say, how do we understand early childhood systems building work, and many other partners in the process. Not often people understand what a collective impact model is or what is a backbone organization. It's not something we made up. it really is a model that is being duplicated and replicated across the nation. There are 5 conditions for a collective impact success. You can see those on the left: a common agenda, mutually reinforcing activities, other systems measurement. And then as a backbone organization, there really is 6 core roles they play: guiding vision and mission and strategy, cultivating community engagement, advancing policy. All of these things have been put together under the mission and vision for First 5 Fox Valley. So as we take on the role of a backbone of guiding vision and strategy, you'll see we're doing that through our work around the Family Resource Center, Imagine Fox Cities, participating on the Regional Child Care Alliance, chat leadership teams. When we really think about how are we participating and supporting shared measurement practices? For us, that's the ASQ developmental screening projects. It's establishing and using Help Me Grow data. When we think about policy work and advocacy, that's the things that we're doing around local ARPA funds, or providing state testimony on high quality early childhood practices, participating in Raising Wisconsin. When we want to mobilize resources, we're writing grants, we're subcontracting, we're accessing the ability to share out and to embed the support of our partner agencies with some funding. And then when we think about our aligned activities, that's Help Me Grow, our community partnership model, and the new Together for Families Family Resource Center. And last, we do try to cultivate community engagement through media, research projects, state work groups. We try to represent the Fox Valley in a positive way. For us, success looks like communicating wisdom, aligning our strategies, coordinating, sharing data, providing a centralized access point where parents know where to go, and engaging all sectors of the community, and mobilizing financial resources. We created this summer, First 5's Fox Valley's board created a strategic plan. It seems like 5 years, things change way too much. Maybe let's go for 3. So we created a strategic plan to take us through 2027. And we want to share that with our community because you're a part of that. We had listening sessions in the summer so that you could inform what you felt First 5 Fox Valley ought to be doing. So our strategic plan has 6 primary objectives. The first is enhancing our collaborative framework, really exploring more intentional convening opportunities and strengthening our partnerships. One way we're doing that is like hosting this community resource and community report. We're improving our data. We want to provide organizational storytelling. We want to expand our longitudinal data analysis, working with other data output, working with other sources that utilize data that we can give, Help Me Grow data to, and strengthening our community engagement. One piece of that is through a hub and spoke model with the Family Resource Center. These didn't get renumbered, but number 4, 5, and 6, we know we need to develop sustainable revenue streams. We want to be transparent and efficient with our financial management of the gifts and stewards of the money that comes through First 5 to be shared. We want to address our own capacity challenges. You all know it's like started with just one person part-time, and now we actually have basically 1.5, 2 people. We just hired a finance manager. We're really excited about that, a part-time person. And we also know that we need to address transition in leadership as people move on and retire. We also lastly want to identify an organizational structure that clearly defines the roles between First 5 Fox Valley as a lead entity, as the fiscal agent for the Family Resource Center, and Help Me Grow Wisconsin. So out of that vision and mission. Out of this new strategic plan, we have three main structures that you'll hear us talk about that I'll be reporting on in just a few minutes. There's First Five Fox Valley, who is the backbone organization doing early childhood systems work, collective work, bringing partners together, providing some essential infrastructure and support and leadership to sustain and support other kinds of initiatives within our community around early childhood. We are powering Help Me Grow. It's a coordinated system of family support using universal developmental screening and expanding, allowing other communities to access Help Me Grow. And a new one we're just starting, it'll be open in 2026, is the Together for Families, a family resource center that really is focusing on strengthening families and programs co-located all together in one location, but with spoke activity you'll hear a little bit more about. So first five in our work, just by looking at the numbers over the past, not knowing where we're going in the future, but right now we were able, through our advocacy efforts, to encourage municipalities to save 10%, minimum of 10% of their ARPA funds, their COVID relief dollars that came through, to support early childhood activities and families support, to really utilize part of that, just 10% of their money, to earmark it for families and the support. And you can see how the counties, some cities have really stepped up to the plate in earmarking that, and that money going to multiple partners, early childhood and other community agencies who have been able to access this money now to really strengthen their work around early care and education. First Five has leveraged funding in over, since 2020 through 2026, of over $4.5 million. Who would have thought? And in that, there's 13 partner organizations that are receiving sub-grants. 54 childcare programs are accessing ASQ developmental screening free. We have 13 Help Me Grow part-time navigators. We've done over, and it's in 2023, it was 9,400 developmental screenings that year. I just pulled the numbers. We've done over 13,000 developmental screenings in 2024. We're really excited to share that leveraging funding also means we show collective impact. What can you look forward to with First Five Fox Valley? We're going to be updating and renewing our website, being able to add in the work of the Family Resource Center, of Help Me Grow, keeping you up to date with a newsletter that you can see. It just went out this week, last week, and looking forward to doing that once a month. We're looking forward to opening up the Family Resource Center in the downtown current Trout Museum building. And also we'll continue to be present at lots of events around our communities, so that Help Me Grow, First Five is there for families. So now let's take a look at how children are doing in the Fox Valley. That's what guides the decision making, right? And what do we know about children that has come out in the past couple of years from the Center on Developing Child? We realize that early experiences affect the development of brain architecture. We knew that, but what we didn't realize, it also affects learning, behavior, and health. And just as a weak foundation compromises the quality of a house, adverse experiences early in life can impair brain architecture. And we now understand that negative effects really do have a lasting effect. What we see is that the brain's ability to change in response to experiences is really critical, and it's more capable to change in the early childhood years. But the things that we've identified that affect children's brain development, affects children's development, is things like climate. And when we think about mental health of adults and how that's affecting children and infant mental health, we understand trauma now, safety, housing, unstable housing, lack of health care or good birth outcomes for certain populations. Accessing education and quality childcare has a huge impact on a brain's response to be able to change and to grow. Emotional support. I think through some of the work around water and lead and the quality of what it's like for children, we don't realize that climate affects them when it reaches 120 degrees in some of the areas in which they live around the nation and around the globe. So we've learned a lot more than just early interactions. We've realized that there are a lot of other experiences that now can change the trajectory of what affects kids. And right now I have a glitch. I'm not able. There we go. So we also understand through our work with Imagine Fox Cities and hearing where parents were, that personal experiences, how they are feeling, how they function, how they live, what their communities provide for them, the vital conditions and the properties and places, and all of this comes together. It makes up well-being. So when we talk about family well-being, child well-being, these experiences are broad and more multiple than we realized in the past. So what you're going to hear us talk continually about is what are the sources of data? What do we know? How we're pulling together our information around how children are doing. Right now, we have our a community health survey that is available. We utilize those surveys coming together to say, how is healthcare access? What's education access? What does our neighborhoods look like? What does the social and community context? What creates economic stability? And the sources of data that we're able to use that can tell us how children are doing are based on these data sources that are telling us our stories. Yeah. Well, I am having a hard time here. There you go. Whoops. So in the Fox Valley, this is taken from the Kids Count data. You can see that in our communities, the birth to 4 population is slowly going down. There are fewer babies that are being born. And we see that this population is on somewhat of a decline. On the bottom table that you see, this is the number of children under the age of 5 in Help Me Grow Fox Valley. Almost 25% of the children in Outagamie County are actually in Help Me Grow. It was just a little over 15% as in Winnebago County. So you can see we have almost 5,100 or over 5,100 children that are actually participating in Help Me Grow. What we also understand too is we were able through our Help Me Grow data to track children's ASQ developmental screenings through COVID. And we saw that pre-pandemic, where children's rates were of how they were doing was a little bit better than what happened in the pandemic. And so I share with you that when we look at the number, these 5,100 children, the majority of our children in Help Me Grow are under the age of 3. If you look at the counts, we have roughly almost 66%, 67% of children who are accessing supports from Help Me Grow, from Help Me Grow navigators, are under the age of 3. And you can see the growing numbers in our rural areas, which I'll show you in just a minute. So, why does this matter? In the past 4 years, by actually utilizing the data in Help Me Grow, by utilizing navigators that are following up with families regularly, that children are getting more and more screenings, you will see in 2021, I have a little red line here, that only 43% of the children had no concerns. Yes, the number was small. We had just started in Help Me Grow, but you could see that that was the beginning of where we were just starting to impact with our work around Help Me Grow. In 2022, it moved up to 48% had no concerns. Again, you know, that early intervention, that early identification, the resource support, the activity support really made a difference. Now in 2024, in 2023, it creeped up even more. And now in 2024, we're creeping up even more. We're all the way up to 53, almost 54% have no concerns. This might seem like small incremental change, but it is important to note that as we've been gathering more information around children, we are actually able to intervene quicker and give parents the resources they need. In the Fox Valley Help Me Grow developmental screening system in 2024, we have already used over 13,000 developmental screenings. You can see that we have 81 programs just in the Fox Valley who are accessing. That means childcare programs, birth to 3, school districts, all coming together, utilizing this tool within our system that was funded back with an early basic needs developmental giving partnership grant out of Oshkosh that kickstarted this work, has now expanded in amazing ways. In fact, the work that we've done at First 5 and the Fox Valley has been able to be expanded to other communities. So First 5 Fox Valley is the state affiliate, Wisconsin state affiliate, because we were the first to Help Me Grow National Center. And Help Me Grow now is in 29, well, it's in 30 states now. There are over 149 Help Me Grow systems. And it's pretty amazing to actually realize that in Help Me Grow, we started just in the Fox Valley in 2021. And now you can see through some grants that we have coming up in 2025 that the communities of Kenosha are now running Help Me Grow. They pay for their own system. They give us a little bit of money to access our database so that all of that data is coming together, and I can give numbers for every one of those counties that is accessing Help Me Grow. So just as a reminder, if you don't know what that is, Help Me Grow is a nationally evidence-informed model that links data, centralized access point where we keep track of it, of supporting families. It has family community outreach, health provider outreach, and data collection. How it looks in the Fox Valley is, you can see First 5 is the centralized access point. We run our database, and then we have navigators embedded in partner agencies. So at Levin, and I know Marta was on here, she's with us 5 hours a week. She supports bilingual by doing bilingual navigational work. Early intervention, birth to 3, was one of the very first partners at Help Me Grow Fox Valley. We have childcare providers. We have people progression now. We have a navigator there, just part-time, but that's where we are able then to go where families are, meeting where families need. So I'm going to share with you a little bit more about our fidelity report and the kinds of things Help Me Grow can report out on. I'm not going to play this now. It's on our website, but even Governor Evers sent a wonderful thank you for the work that First Five and Help Me Grow is doing for children. So some of the highlights. Help Me Grow Wisconsin is serving on a couple of national advisory councils. First Five, we participate as a community on a community advisory council for a longitudinal NIH study on healthy brain and child development. We were identified as a promising practice case study for the Department of Children and Families. We've done presentations at Help Me Grow National Center, looking at how we utilize our community partnership model. Or we were also presenting at the Together for Children conference. Dr. Jennifer Koop and I were able to share at a National Developmental Screening Center of Excellence, a presentation on our rural healthcare. We have grant funding for the projects from the Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Board to expand childcare, developmental screenings through childcare. We're working with Triple P and subcontracting with Children's Wisconsin to help get that started and expanded in the Fox Valley. We have a maternal and child health grant, and that's continuing our rural health. And there's several other pieces. Theta Care's community health work that helps us have navigators within family services and Valley Packaging. We also have been included, Help Me Grow has been included in the state Title V performance measures as a strategy that public health departments can participate in. It's just been pretty exciting to see some of the state research that's gone on, or the state support. And also we were a part of a Medical College of Wisconsin research grant with Dr. Jennifer Koop. And some of the key findings from that was realizing that Help Me Grow is really a sustainable, low cost, effective way of being flexible when populations change, with the number of developmental screenings we do, with our community partnership model and how that looks. So Help Me Grow has navigators embedded in the following programs. You can see currently some of those partnerships that we have. Some are in public health, some are in basic needs, some are in community partners. Our database statistics show that we have 97 programs using Brooks Enterprise Systems statewide. So starting up at the new in Brown County and also in Kenosha, we did 62 outreach events statewide, and there is almost 400 partner organizations that are focused on in our resource directory. And we are starting a pilot project with a WPP grant with Central Wisconsin. Looking forward to beginning to do some work there. We currently work with child caring, doing a Hmong community pilot project with ASQ screening. The thing that's pretty amazing about our Help Me Grow in Wisconsin is we have seen numbers, our outcomes are doubling every year. And that number just continues to be expanded. The number of families served, children served, referrals, and developmental screening. So some of the data that we've been able to capture through our Help Me Grow database that shows that you can see the numbers double of families served, children under the age of 3, but it also captures what kinds of referrals are made. What are the numbers of referrals and follow-ups? how many, and they call it CAP activities, but that would be that's our centralized access point. That would be the number of phone calls, texts that we get, the emails we send, the number of activities and resources that we send out to parents, and the linkages and the number of screenings that children have been able to participate in. When we break it into our regional looks, you can see that the Fox Valley is the incubator. It is the founding system. We're the ones that started it up in 2021. So of course we have the largest number of families, but you can see each year that Kenosha has doubled. Help Me Grow Northeast Wisconsin, this is their first year. They just started last year in November in 2023. So, in central Wisconsin with our Hmong project, you can see the numbers that have started, and look at the amazing in our rural areas of Wapaka, Washera, Green Lake, Marquette, Shawano. I think I'm probably missing some. Marquette. Anyways, yeah, pretty amazing numbers that we're able to do. I also, we are able to just look our data. We're able to sort by county, by zip code, by school district, by you name it. And I just love to be able to show that, you know, in the whole Wisconsin for 2023 database, there was over 6,600 children. And you can see the majority of them are going to be in the Fox Valley system of Outagamie and Calumet and Winnebago, because we started earlier. Some of our grant funding that you can see that First Five has received and is able to do this work and to pass on to partner agencies, some to support some of the navigator work, has been very significant, and really looking at how we listen to where kids are and what needs to happen next, and where's the next space that we need to expand and embed navigators. So that was Help Me Grow. Another piece that First Five is engaged with, and probably is where you're hearing a lot of information, have a lot of questions around, is the Family Resource Center. So how did we get here? Well, it started with First Five really listening. That's that table, right? Yeah, you put out a table, you send out invites, you bring that potluck together, and then you listen. And you hear, how did COVID affect children and families? Our cities had listening sessions. They had surveys. We went to Outagamie County's listening sessions. We saw and participated in the data from the surveys from our communities. And in doing that, we heard that families really felt like they needed a place to have a family resource center, somehow a structure, some function, some funding, to be able to really bring together parents, and not just for at-risk parents, but really to support all families. What is a family resource center? So we spent some time, thank you to the Milky Early Learning Fund and to the Women's Fund, who gave us some grants to be able to do facilitated work about what is a family resource center, how would we use it in our community, do we even need it, is it even worth it? We went through all of these. We brought partners together and came down to say, well, what is it and how might we use it? And we found it that a family resource center is really a hub of support, services, education, opportunities. Instead of trying to fix families, it focuses on the strengths of children and families and communities, and really works to empower parents. It's there to address issues like isolation, provide some peer support, develop social connections, reduce some of that stress that I shared with you can impact children's development. And we amplify the existing resources by increasing access and fostering collaboration between agencies. And there has been research done that shows family resource centers nationally do have almost $5 social return on investment. The Family Resource Center in the Fox Valley is going to be called Together for Families. And it has a mission to create a place that welcomes all families to lead, learn, play through the power of connection. The vision is for families and organizations, community members to work together and to strengthen our families so that every child strives to be successful. How are we organizing this work as First Five? We have a steering committee that has been meeting for over a year. The steering committee has multiple people of those stakeholder partners at the very beginning of this presentation. It is early childhood partners, it is community, it's philanthropy, it's business, it's parents. All of those folks are coming together in what we call our steering committee. There's about 20 people on that. It's a facilitated steering committee. And we also have work groups that are doing different components of thinking through and startup of this program. We have a parent ambassadors program that was launched, and they are mighty powerful. They sit as leaders on all of these work groups. They're the ones that say to us, hey, we want to make sure that there's access to feeling safe when we go to visit this Family Resource Center. How do we do that? They're involved with that. We have a programs administration. We have a marketing developing work group. We have a facilities and property work group and a place-based design. All of them have community members, First Five board of director folks, and early childhood partners and steering committee people. We're utilizing a hub and spoke model. The hub will be at the downtown Trout Museum building. That building we were able to purchase, and I'll share that in the next slide. But then we're using a spoke. So we're just now developing and talking about where are the spokes? Where is there partner locations that seem like natural fits where some of the programming, the parent education, the resource access can be located? What rural areas need and want to have some family resource center work come there? And then also an online community as a part of our Family Resource Center, as a spoke. The community partnership model comes together, and we were able to purchase this beautiful historical building. You might not even realize there is 5 floors in this. The ground level floor will have a free year-round play space for families to come and meet and connect. Our partners and our place-based design, the Building for Kids, is helping to coordinate that design to figure out how we're going to implement it and fabricate it. It might be, let's see, some of the ideas were maybe it's an ocean or water body. Maybe it's a forest. Maybe it is a river. Maybe there's a village. Lots of different ideas, but there's going to be this incredible play space that'll be free for families to use. But the goal is the mission, to come together to meet other families, to socialize. We also, on that second floor, there's going to be space that has a quiet space, a room where we can have yoga for families, or maybe it'll be a place that we have a story time or a music event. Lots of different ideas circulating, but there's also going to be a place that you can connect with Help Me Grow, a navigator who can help you think through, access, answer questions that you might have about parenting. There's going to be a training and conference room on the very top floor, where we're going to have parent education, and there's space for stroller parking up there. And really looking forward to having an opportunity to have good technology available for these teachers who want to offer things like pyramid model or parent connection workshops there. Maybe it's triple P. Maybe it's just maybe it's just a group that comes together of young single parents or whatever it is, but we have space for that. The fourth floor is going to be office space for some of our service providers. We're putting together a partner interest survey that'll go out next week, asking about what's your interest, how much space, how much size, do you want to be a spoke? So when you get that, please answer that. That's really helpful for our work group to think that through. There's also going to be a third floor that will be leased out to an organization that might want to, it's all going to be designed for childcare. There's 2 classrooms. It could be short-term childcare that is for families that just need a space to have their child at while they go to a meeting or maybe go to a doctor's appointment. We know our partner, the YMCA, has that too, and sometimes they don't have enough space for that drop-off type of care for short term. Maybe it'll be employer supported. Maybe it'll be a 4K classroom. We're all working on that right now. We need to work with our licensing and regulators to talk about what does outdoor space look like if we do full-time care, or do we keep it at short-term care? We're not sure. And there'll be a baby thrift store in the current gift store right now. It just really is a central location that parents have said they feel comfortable going to. People have said, why this building? It's old. It has a lot it needs. And we're like, yeah, you're right. But it's the historic building preservation is so important to us. We're not knocking it down. We're not making it into condos. We're keeping the footprint inside of that. Those beautiful columns I'll show you in a minute are going to become something pretty wonderful. Maybe trees, maybe a slide will be in there. Who knows? But we're not changing the footprint. We're just going to enhance it. Also, it is a community asset. We want it to be there. It's a part of the history of our community. It's a vibrant city center. It's a place parents are naturally at. And also it is a space of commerce that brings together business and community. And then there'll be a space for multiple activities. What's the time frame look like? July right now, through July 2025, we were able to purchase the building thanks to some of the ARPA funds through Outagamie County and through the city of Appleton. We have capital campaign funds from the Nelson Family Fund and from Oneida Nation, all coming together to provide what we needed to be able to create the ability to purchase that building in July. We are launching our capital campaign. We've raised 70% of our goal for the building component of it. The Trout Museum is leasing that space now until they move out next summer. And in the meantime, we're working on planning and designing, working with bidding, getting materials out. July, August 2025 to sometime July 2026, spring, summer, we will renovate and innovate the facility. We'll be hiring a director for the Family Resource Center, some programming, securing some partner agency leases, plans for staffing, and then we plan to open it in 2026. What does some of our parents say? Why are we doing this? Why do we believe that strengthening families utilizing a community partnership model is really critical? It's their words. Some of our parents ambassadors have said, Danielle said many times, I just wanted to hear from other moms. Or Erin says, you know, the longer I've been a parent, the more I realize there's no perfect parent, which can leave you feeling lonely at times. Alicia, she's a single mom at age 20, and she had lots of support, but not a lot of knowledge. She really wanted to be able to have resources and access some better self-care. And Hannah, as a first-time single mom, her question was, how will I make sure I don't walk out on my child as I had seen experienced growing up? These are the words of our parent ambassadors saying why they're involved, why they think this is important. So where are we at? The project has a capital campaign goal of $8 million. We have 3 buckets to that. $5 million of that is to purchase the Trout Museum, renovate and remodel. Like you've heard me say, we already have 3 million of that already connected and collected. And that money will be used to renovate that beautiful old building. All the things that it needs to have: a new roof, a new HVAC, new security system, taking out the old flooring that might be filled with things that aren't so good for families. All of that will be taken care of through this purchase and renovation. It's going to be an amazing space. I can only tell you, I can't wait to keep you updated on that. We also have down over $500,000, 500,000 to begin to launch and start up our program and administration component. That's going to begin staffing and planning that programming for the next couple of years, so that we secure and get it started well. We also have some contingency costs because all of you know, if you've ever tried to do a building project, something comes up. And last, we were told by our wonderful good friend who's no longer with us, Walt Rugland. He said, Barb, you got to have an endowment or something because it's going to continue to need sustainability for program. So in that, we are planning as a part of this $8 million to have $2 million in an endowment and ongoing support. Just another piece that First Five is undertaking and working with Theta Care. As we're doing our community listening, we are hearing that children are having more behavioral problems, behavioral acting out. Theta Care has been working or is gifting to First Five some money to look at, let's map out what kind of activities are available in the Fox Valley. So we've been working with WeAIMS, Catalpa, First Five. We're all kind of looking to say what's out there for families, for children, for childcare providers. Let's begin to map it out so we know what is available. And then we can begin to know where resources need to be added. We're also involved in community health action teams, chat teams. And if you haven't heard, the Fox Valley area is partnering with Children in Screens to develop some support for youth and families to better navigate the use of cell phones, social media, ultimately improving youth mental health. When we talk about throwing a table or setting a table and bringing folks together and having those social connections and building relationships, that means we partner too. And so we're a part of this type of work, supporting, participating, so that we're listening to our community. And I think probably one of the biggest things that warms our heart as a board is to realize that we've been given this year the Community Leadership Award through Esther because of the work that we've done and how they believe we reflected on the essential question on how our children are, and that they appreciated the partnership and support, how we're responding to answer resources and care for community needs. And it means a lot to the First Five board. And with that, I want to thank you for attending, and I'm going to unshare and we're going to open it up for any questions that you might want to ask, comments that you might want to make, anything along the lines that maybe were put into a chat, now's the time to ask or comment. All right. Well, is everybody, oh, everybody's muted, Kelsey. There you, can we unmute everybody? There you go. Susan, yes, yeah.
So Susan Garcia Franz from Winnebago County Public Health. We know each other, we go way back, but my question for you is this. When you were presenting a lot of the data, my question was on the evidence-based program. I just was wondering where in your data, like, do we see yet the improvement on the evidence that's being used within the program? Like, do we see those numbers yet, or is it yet to for those numbers to come out?
You know what? That is a question. A couple of us were just chatting about this morning. We know we have the data there, but we aren't sure what outcomes the community wants to know about. Like, what is it you want to know? And then let's figure out what that looks like, right? Like, we know we have longitudinal data now where we have children that have multiple screenings, and we can look at that trajectory. And I can tell you anecdotally that what we've seen, and Susan can speak to this too, Susan Steinhofer, is that we have seen that with intervention, and when I say intervention, that means help me grow, a navigator, maybe it's resource support, that the developmental milestones have moved from monitoring to concerning to normal. But we can find out more data. We can look at what the trajectory is for children with home visitation. We can look at what the changes might be by a subset of the population. We just don't know what outcomes people want to know about.
And I'm just thinking that this would be helpful for school districts, as more are going to those 4K programs and ramping up some of their activities. It'd be nice for them to have some of this data to show that early intervention piece and the what was done, and kind of as they kind of take over at some point, and then beyond. So just thought that'd be something to look at.
Susan, you want to talk a little bit about how many school districts are participating?
So I just want to share. So I don't know if Susan's going to be able to talk or not. The internet went out on her campus, so she may not be able to share verbally today.
Okay, so what we do know is that we are getting more and more school districts that are in the data system. So it would be like we have Oshkosh and Menasha and Omro and New London and Wapaka. I mean, there's it's getting school districts who are using it, the ASQ system, in with their 4K. And if now that we have data we have more children in Help Me Grow Younger, we're able to see, like, if they had a screening at 18 months and then they're taking another one at 4K, just think of the data as moving forward that school district will have coming in to say, did that make a difference in their kindergarten preparedness or their school preparedness? But we do have Head Starts in school districts. Not everyone, that'd be great. They're coming in and adding in, and it's free for them, right? Like, thank you, Rotary Club. Thank you, Otto Bremer and the Community Vision Fund for allowing us to be able to offer screenings to every family free of charge. I mean, it's not free to do it, but we're able to offer it free to our partners. Anything else? Thank you all for coming. We so appreciate it. And how are the children doing? They're getting better. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. Kelsey, can you stop the recording?